Welcome to the DJ Hustle podcast. I have a West Coast legend in the game, man. Cone 87. We call him Big Hutch because he's super OG, triple OG. You know how we get down. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me, Hustle, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah. You are, when it comes to producers, inspiration because you actually produce, not beat make, not beat match. You actually do the job that you're assigned to do. And your label is producer. And not only a producer, you're an MC, and you lyrical, and you put things down like they're supposed to be. Before we get into your new album right now, I want to talk about your background in the music. You come from a musical family.
Right,
So
absolutely.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
My family, my father, he was a writer and a composer, and producer at Motown, Hutch. And then my uncle was Willie Hutch, the writer, the composer, and the artist. So,
Okay.
I come from shit like that, man. So,
Okay.
it's a beautiful life I have,
Exactly. That's what it is. So what inspired you to get into that game, man? I mean, some kids see the father was famous and uncles was famous, and they try to stay away from that. But what got you to follow their footsteps?
Well, for me, it was in me that they say I guess you're born with it because like a lot of my cousins don't, they don't do music, they do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess growing up, whenever I would go to my grandmother's house, there was always a piano there. It's always been music around me from like a very young age, So so I guess I've always had the bug. I mean, it's not like nobody made me do anything. I wanted to be, I wanted to be in music my whole life since I probably was like 6 years old.
Wow.
I wrote my first song when I was 6. And from there, I just always wanted to do it. No one made me do it. I just always wanted to do it. It was just in me,
Okay.
It wasn't like it wasn't no Joe Jackson stuff. I could have done it and not done it, you know what I mean? Because we also grew up as athletes as well, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I could have been either one, but I mean, I just love music so much, man,
Okay. When was your first it moment? Like he's like, I can actually do this. Like I can play the piano, I can play the guitar, I can program beats. So when was your it moment, your first it moment?
Well, I think the first time was when hip hop hit really hard.
Okay.
At first, I wanted to just be a person that done music.
Right.
Just far as like doing it, but I wanted to be like a player, like, you know what I mean? Like playing bands and being in a band, that kind of thing. Yeah. I kind of wanted to be like in the front of like performing, like that. For as, I could perform, it's cool, but my whole thing on a professional level was really to be a writer, composer, and producer off the top.
Right.
When hip hop hit, I love rap so much, I started just MCing a whole lot.
Okay.
And that kind of like got my juices flowing on the artist part.
Okay.
I never really wanted to be in the front like that, to be honest with you. Like, until hip hop came out, I kind of only wanted to do it on a technical level. And just be behind the scenes, like be an engineer, producer, composer, that kind of thing. When hip hop, I felt like, okay, I can do that. I like being out there doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And later on in the progression of me doing hip hop as being a rapper, that's when I started integrating the music part into it.
Yeah. Because you already had that ear already.
Yeah. It's the mid 80s. You figure it's the mid 80s and everything is hip hop. So I kind of only wanted to do that.
Okay.
So I didn't even really think about integrating music into it until I actually started getting into making the music,
Yeah. And so you had the advantage too, because not only your background in music, that was your foundation. So for you, you like somebody, I want to be a rapper. But most people like people like you have an edge because you can actually make the beat,
right?
Write the hook, make the sound, and tell them what to say and when to say it. So when you have that going into your gumbo of music catalog going through that, you have an upper hand more than anybody else. And when I heard your first album, Living Like a Hustler, I'm like, this dude's he's a beast. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the sound. Because back then we had King T, Ice T, we had who was the other crews? There wasn't too many other crews. It was just, okay, Toddy T.
You got a Cali, I mean, you forgot a Cali, it was only LA Dream Team.
Okay.
Mixmaster Spade, Toddy T.
Yep.
The Wrecking Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Mission Lover.
Right.
And shoot, that's probably like the over the top stuff. You know, a lot of then you talking King T, LA Posse Records, all the stuff they put out, Pooh and them.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turns into the Ice T, the Easy E's, then the building of Ruthless Records. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's when it kind of turned into that like later, but in the beginning, no. I mean, and even for us, like when we first came with Living Like Hustlers, you know, I wanted to do something that had more instrumentation to it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a lot of boom bap to it. So I kind of started figuring out how to put melody to the shit. You know,
yeah.
In an era where you really talking about did not have a lot of that.
No.
You know, didn't have a lot of that. It mostly was a boom. It was dope shit now.
Mm-hmm.
All dope. But I think when we looking at the music back then, it was coming out of R&B into more straight up hip hop.
Right. So that's where you drew the line, because the line that you drew is because you came in as a real person who does music. It wasn't just the beat machine. It wasn't just that for you. So
it had to have a melody. It had to have melody. It had to have, you know, something to it, the essence of it. Like, you know, if you look at Living Like Hustlers, like you're saying, which is real, it's like if you listen to the grooves on there, even me sampling, I sample Quincy.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the stuff is Quincy Jones sampling. Some of the stuff is, you know, Barry White. Some of the stuff is some well orchestrated stuff. It's Isaac Hayes. It's, you know what I mean? It's not just, you know, not just an ultimate break. It's like really, I'm in the crates, really sampling like soul music. You know, and it's in the tempo of soul music. It's not in the sped it up, it's in the tempo of soul music.
Yeah, the BPMs are lower edge. So usually the BPMs are lower edge because you can want to hear what they're saying.
Right.
The higher you go, the less they're saying, the more dancing you do.
So I think that we were more forward with that, far as doing it that way, which made us a little bit more funky, even in the early days, even in my early days of our career. It made us more funky than just like a break beat and rapping. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dre was able to, when we first, because I brought Living Like Hustlers to him, it was 80% done. We did like the last song. Mm-hmm. We did Freedom of Speech, was written by me and Laylaw. Mm-hmm. And then we did, I think Kicking Lyrics was the only song that hadn't, it's like 3 records that hadn't been done.
Okay.
Everything else had been done. All we ended up doing was bumping up. A lot of stuff I done was at a 16 and an 8-track. Okay. So all we did was bump the sound up.
Okay.
We bumped it up to a bigger studio, to 24-track. So I bring my crates in, we re-sample everything, bump everything, tweak everything. Dre taught me how to tweak it. You know, make it sound like a professional record, not like a demo, and that was it. You know, and then we took off. So that's why if you look at Living Like Hustlers, it sounded like a totally different project.
Okay.
Straight out of Compton, Easy does it, and even no one can do it better. You know, it didn't even sound like that.
No, it didn't. Every album that you guys put out is different from someone else. So I know that you're a beast in the studio. And I know you knew Dre was a beast in the studio. So how was it working with 2 beasts coming together? How was that?
It was awesome, because I think the brilliance about him is that he loves people who have a great work, high work ethic, and have a really good skill set.
Okay.
He respects that. You know what I mean? He feeds off of that. You know, creative minds, they usually feed off of that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you know
Okay.
So when me and him work together, it's awesome because we kind of like, we know, it's like finishing somebody's sentence. You know what I'm saying? What you think? I don't know. You know, we that in lockstep, you know, with each other. You know what I mean? Right. So it was cool. And it was cool because the thing that I liked most about working with him, he never really he always inspired me to like get mines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was young, he was like, man, you doing a lot of work at a young age, man. You need to just really, really zero in on you doing you. You know what I mean? Like far as you taking the helm, you know what I mean? Because I was kind of laid back, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that, how to take the reins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it shows in your work. It shows in your work.
The thing about him, he was never like stay in the back and, you know what I mean, be this, be that. He always was like, man, get out there, man. You know, this how you do it. Now go do it. You know what I mean? He would give me any kind of advice. The biggest advice that he ever gave me was like, keep it simple. You know what I mean? You can have a complex theory, but make sure you simplify it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like the essence of G-Funk was that. It was to have a complex sound, but make it simple. You know, a lot of that comes from what I was taught, how to make records. Like you got to simplify it, you know.
Yeah, that's real talk. Coming into G-Funk, it's you are the founder of that, right?
Right, creator. I'm the guy who actually gave everybody the theory of G-Funk. You know,
gotcha.
How to do it, slow it down, put this on it, put this on top of it, do it like this. You know what I mean?
How do you stay motivated to continue to do music, man? Because your production is genius. So how do you stay motivated to keep doing great music?
You know, one thing I can say this, like my father, my uncle, they always taught me that, you know, try to take music further than where you found it.
Okay.
And that's all I just think about. I always think about like, how can I put on top of what I already found? I don't try to go away from it. I try to say, how can I build off it? How can I, what they say nowadays with like computers, how can I update the original program? Right. So that's why I stay motivated. I look for things to keep that essence of what I actually have always done, but just update it.
Right.
Update it, like trying to be hip, but just make it more richer. Like, oh, you know, have you like the iPhone or the Droid or whatever it is, how they update everything. Like, oh, it's got the, but it still function the same.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes real sense.
So it's like I tell people like this. I said, listen, it's a couple analogies I can give you. Rolls Royce is an elegant car.
Yep.
The '69 Rolls Royce is elegant, right? For 1969. But the 2022 Rolls Royce is just as elegant, but it's made for 2022. It doesn't lose its elegance. It doesn't look like a Kia. It doesn't look like a Toyota. It doesn't look like, you know, a Maserati. It looks like a Rolls Royce still, you know? So, and another thing that we always got to realize, you know, it's like grandma's fried chicken or something, or something in there that's always got to be in there to make you know that that's what it is. So if she passes down to your mama, your auntie, if that's not in there, you can be like, oh, that ain't it. But yeah, she got that. My auntie got that ingredients in it, but she got her little stank on it too. You know, they're updating the original formula. They keep updating the original formula. Exactly. Whether your mama passed down to your daughter, to your, you know what I'm saying? They update because it's a different focus. It's like somebody trying to put a little bit more on it in. Gotcha. But it still got grandmama's sprinkles in there. You know what I mean? So that's me. That's why I look at it from what I was taught from all those people. I just try to keep putting my little every year, every time I turn around, the extra little get down on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Keeps me motivated to be like a person like, okay, I want to take G-Funk a little bit this. I want to take G-Funk a little bit more. I want to take G-Funk a little bit, you know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, bro. What is your biggest accomplishment that you've done so far in hip hop? Oh, hip hop? I thought you were saying life. No, I'm saying no. We'll go there next. My biggest accomplishment, I think, in hip hop that I've produced for 3 artists that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame: Eazy-E, NWA, and Tupac. So that's huge. That's huge. produce for them. So I guess
that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Whoever thought, so I can say that. So
okay.
A lot of producers can't say that, but I can. So
no, a lot of producers are still trying to get to that point where you're at. You know what I'm saying?
I'm blessed to be able to say that I produced 3 artists that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm blessed. So
yeah. Now let me ask you a question. I'm gonna take it back a little bit. When you first started producing and you went to Ruthless, okay, what was it like when you first? Because I know what it's like when I bought the records as a person who's a DJ. But you're a producer going in to see Eazy-E for a job. What was that like, going in to see him?
Well, I mean, first I will tell you it was more so, because Eazy-E was like this. Eazy-E was more like a do you type of person. So there's no pressure when it comes to like what I wanted to do. You know, he kind of like, that's what he promoted, do you. So I would say, the biggest thing I would say when I first came to Ruthless was at a very high competitive level.
Right.
At that, you know what I mean? You figure Eazy's record was out, NWA was out, the DLC record was out, and they all was slamming.
Right.
We were next. So I think that was probably the most hardest thing to get around, to like be at a very young age and just think very professional. You know. And then have your skill set so on point that you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about people outside coming at you. You got to worry about these fools in your house coming at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you had a roster.
Yeah, with MC, look at the MCs that we had to deal with. Ice Cube, MC Red. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah. Everybody had a mouthpiece. Everybody was like, yo, what you gonna do?
The DOC back then was the most, I mean, you couldn't, bar none, you couldn't see him. You know what I mean? So look at what me and KMG, rest in peace, my brother, man. Shout out to DJ Chaos, man. Go Mac with the sack, lay law and cocaine too, man. When we came in, we had to come with the big boy boots on, man. You know what I mean? So I would say my first initial couple of meetings with them, was really kind of cool and mellow. They let us know you belong. Dre made sure, Dre and Eazy and Laylaw made sure that we belong. Okay. They wasn't gonna, they didn't give us they gave us everything that we worked for. We were ready. When they got off the tour, we came back off the tour, they were ready. They were ready to put us to the world because they knew these cats is ready. These cats is on our level. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I get that.
Very humbling though. I mean, because at Ruthless, you got to realize what we did. We talked a lot of shit on records, but if you listen to it, we believed in excellence.
Yeah. That was dope. I like that. And moving forward, let's talk about this album now, because to me, when I heard the other night, I'm like, this dude right here. I'm like, it's like when you hear greatness and then you can call somebody and say, hey man, your record is dope. That's a rarity, because you hear people's records and you're like, what was it?
Yeah, exactly. You got to give the homie high five. You know what I mean?
Hold your arm back like,
high five. Yeah.
I'm like this. Yo, this is dope. I had to hit you like, yo, the sound, it's on point. So with this whole album, what is the concept now? Because you've done great stuff already, and you keep doing greatness. So
okay. Let's say this: the whole thing, Above the Law presents a resurrection of gangster rap, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean that I'm talking about people that do gangster rap don't do gangster rap no more.
Okay.
What it is that people that do gangster rap don't brand gangster rap. I brand gangster rap. This is what I ran into before the pandemic and when the pandemic hit. What I noticed is that everybody was trying to conform to whatever was going on.
Yeah.
Well, an artist doesn't actually do that, to be honest. You know what I mean? Doritos do that. is fine if you feel like you're Nike or Doritos. Not knocking nobody for doing that. When you're trying to, the way you get to being great at something is you do something different, but just as good as what Doritos is doing, basically. Let me say that, because we don't want to get nobody misconstrued say on your show, fam. Right. You know. So me, what I did, I said, okay, I can't fit in with this. I can't fit in with that. Not to make it bad or anything, you know. But what do I do right now that people love from back then? Now, right. I thought about it. I said, well, I do gangster rap. I don't really do anything else. So make a 2022 gangster rap album. There it is. There you have it. And I looked at my kids. I looked at my kids. They're grown. They're young adults now. Yeah. And what I noticed that they vibe off of is they vibe off the nostalgia. And I said, wouldn't it be cool for you as the person to experience gangster rap like you are? It'd be cool for my kids to experience gangster rap right now. Not going back to what we did in 1991 or in the mid 90s or the late 80s. Right. Them getting young artists is being able to experience gangster rap right now. Wow. And do it unadulterated, unapologetic. Make a record sound like it's 1997. Yeah. But it's out in 2022, and it sounds fresh for 2022. That's the resurrection of gangster rap. To make it actually sound like a gangster rap record, but made in 2022, but feel like it's 1999. Because back then it was different. How I set the record up, it feels like an old nostalgia record, but the songs are fresh. Yeah. They stay locked. They don't jump all over the place and try to be too weird for school or too cool for church. No, it's straight up hardcore. You know what I mean? All of them, all the songs. You got cocaine on there, knocking things out. I love that. And he's the guest. He's the guest star on the album. And when I say guest star in Cocaine, which means he's the only one with features on there. He's featured on my record a few times, so he's the guest star on the album. There's nobody else. That's on purpose. Let me ask you this: how do you? I'm sorry for asking this, but how do you pick your talent? My talent? Yeah. How do you pick your talent? I'm not saying cocaine, but when you want to work with somebody, because you have a higher level of skill and talent yourself. I base it on the rarity. Like I base it on you being rare, having a rare sound. Okay. I don't pick someone, if I hear somebody sound like somebody, I say I heard that before. Yeah. It has to have some kind of like where it's normal to me. It's not like it's weird. It's like saying when I first heard Bone. Bone sound different to me, but it sound dope. Yeah. It can't just be different and just be, all right, it's got to be different. It's got to have, oh, yeah, okay. How he coming, makes me feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So that's why I pick it. I pick it if it has to have a rare sound. It can't be just like, oh, what he doing, he doing it just like everybody else is doing. He sound like whoever the beat of the week is, or the hot nigga that's out now. You know what I mean? So that's what I base it on. If I hear something that sounds regular to me, I'm gonna feel like, hey man, I heard this before. Okay. Let people know the name of your album. Above the Law presents The Resurrection of Gangster Rap by Code 187 Massa Musa. Massa Musa. That name sounds strong. Massa Musa. Yeah, Massa Musa. The word, what does that mean for people that don't know? Massa Musa means King Warrior. Okay. So reason why I put Code 187 Massa Musa is to make you guys say my name in a sentence now. It means Cole, Killer, King, Warrior. The word means something. All the things mean something. It's coded as we do. You know how we code shit, but it's coded. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's dope right there, bro. I like that. It's to unjog a conscious mind, but on a real shock level. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's why I don't drop the Code 187, because it's to keep it on a shock level. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, are you doing any spot days? Are you going to start touring soon with the album? Do you have a video and everything like that? What's going on? Yeah, you know, the video's out right now. OG, the single's out right now.
Okay.
You can get that on YouTube, or you can go to moosatv.net and check it out. That's my own streaming network,
Okay.
moosatv.net, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Musa TV as well. Yes, I will be touring next year.
Okay.
I don't know when we actually, you know, starting, but we'll be out, you know, I think maybe February, March, you'll be follow, you know, check it out. But I'll have everything posted on all my social media as well. And I'm pretty sure you hear about it because the record's doing extremely good. And shout out to all my fans, my loyal OG fans. You know, they holding me down, and they also can get the physical CD on my site, my merchandise site, ogfashion.com. That's ogfashion, FASHIN.com. ogfashin.com.
That's it. Can we, you know what? Let me ask you this. Can we get you to write a book? Come on, man.
Everybody wants me to write a book, man. I got to finish this last chapter.
No, what I mean is, you don't got to just do a book just on production.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, just do one for production, then do one for something else, then do for something else, and then write your whole biography of whatever you want to do for the last one.
I was talking to some kids at MMI before about production, and they kind of didn't understand. You know, I was like, what are you guys going to school for? And they're like, I'm trying to learn how to be a producer. I said, well, that's weird. I think they can teach you technically how to be a producer, but you have to actually produce. It's a theory. It's, you know, want me to do speaking things all the time about production. It's weird.
You should.
I was about to do it. My daughter, one of her college mates, they're all graduates, but they teach now.
Okay.
And they wanted me to come to their college. One of her people she graduated with, their professor, she's a professor, and they wanted me to come talk at their schools, but they were going to try to put me on like a tour to talk just what me and you talking about.
You should do it.
Like hip hop 101 type thing. So I'm like, yo, I don't know. But I said I'd do it for them. But then the pandemic happened, and I wasn't able to do it. So we'll probably go revisit that next year. But the record's out, man. I'm super busy. So maybe when I slow down, I will do it. You know,
do the tour and get you that book. That book is important. I'm telling you.
Also, we got the merchandise, Mansa Musa Roy. You know, the Mansa Musa gear too at mansamusaroyalty.com, y'all. So go get the fly gear. You can get all the fly player gear, you know, there. You know what I mean? And also the TV show's coming out. The Black Godfather be out in the spring. My TV Black Godfather. Yeah.
Okay, I see what's going on now.
That's on my streaming network, moosatv.net.
Okay,
so,
that's what's up. Man, it was a great interview with you, brother. I could talk to you all day because you're a genius. You have greatness in you, bro. You have greatness in you a lot.
Humble. I'm a humble genius. I'll take it.
Man, what you do, man, is bar second to none. No one can do that. I'm telling you. You do great work. You humble, and you're a good dude on the mic. You're a good dude on the boards. You know what you're doing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you, man. Always.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for real.
Be strong, man.
Hustle, man. Hustle, man.